Okay. Just poured the tea. Hello there, Alcas. We're back again with this beast. So we're gonna take some time to optimize this document a little bit, because I want to try to prevent lag as much as possible. So before it eats all of my RAM again, I'm gonna just unlock this chair. There we go. So we're gonna do a little bit of cleaning house here. Since I have multiple copies of this document as we've progressed through, I did make a new save, so I'm okay with deleting certain things. The warden's symbol we have here. Since we don't need to have that in the document, really. We can always grab it later if we really do need any of the stuff. So it's nice to have a leaner working thing. I'm going to make a note, though, on the 12th one, that I have the warden symbol in it, though. Warden symbol in particular, because should I be making more of these in this series, Reina has kept that cloak, so I want to be able to know which document to reference, since I'm assuming I will probably be deleting some of these, 1 through 12, 1 through 13, beyond, but I want to remember which ones to archive, so 12 is of importance. Oh, I should also, hold on. There we go. I hope you're doing good as well. I think so. Got some cider, got some tea. And we're in for a night of painting, so. How are you doing, Zarlark? Okay, so that looks good. Our background layer, that's all been compressed. Our dragon, I think it's been compressed as much as I'm comfortable with. This is a normal layer and a normal layer. I guess I could merge these to no adverse effect. God, every single time I have to, nope, it won't go up any further. I feel like this, I hope future versions of Photoshop fix that, because it's really annoying how you have all this space that doesn't get utilized. Like this window, it only goes down so far, this one only goes down so far. I want it to stretch the whole way, because I set this up for a reason, you know, and it seems very suboptimal. Actually, this one is going down all the way, so I shouldn't really complain with that, but I'm going to complain with this one. Alright. We have our dragon with a screen layer, a normal layer, and a screen layer. Yes, I think that's fine the way that is. And we have the old Reina. I'm still going to be referencing that for our bow. I'm trying to add in some dimensionality to this, similar to this one. Maybe even steal some of the value of that one. We'll see. So that can stay for now until we finish with that. This definitely needs to get optimized a little bit. So we can get rid of that. Rename that. Oh, my window is blocking chat. In the grand scheme of things, I'm doing good. I see. It's always good to, you know, maintain perspective. Okay, so we can delete that and deselect. Thank you. So this is Arena herself. Those are our details. More details. I guess, it's all pretty delicate, but it kind of works that way. I don't think I need these to be any louder. Then it's just going to be kind of distracting. So I think they're pretty good the way they are. This is not doing much. So multiply. That should have had some kind of reaction. That was kind of strange. Ah. Well, the darker vines is kind of nice. Now that I actually have made it a little bit prettier, I'm kind of regretting making it so scrappy at the bottom. Because now it's like, oh, but it's so pretty. Aesthetics change as you add on more details. Yeah, I think I'll keep that. Come on, you. I think this one was. Yeah, okay. So that we kind of want to have ish. I don't know. I remember I had gotten so irritated. I was just like, this needs to be changed. But oh God, that gives it more movement. It's just really irritating, like this part right here where they connect in the same spot. I think that really bugged me the most. Or this, it doesn't do that, but then this part becomes more pronounced issue to my eye. So I think we're gonna have to have a bit of a compromise between the two. That is what I'm thinking. Guess I gotta turn the remote on now. Hope it doesn't fall. Oh, come on. No, it doesn't. Okay, there we go, there we go. I like this line up into here. It just is connecting at a weird spot. So what if we make a new layer here? Oh, that's why. I'm like, why is everything so light? My old settings. That is why. Something like that. I think that should give us the best of both worlds, I hope. Still a problem with this here. But I'm not entirely sure what I need to do to make this feel better. I wish I knew. My life so much easier. Oh my gosh, Photoshop. No. We need our pressure sensitivity. Oops. This also doesn't really help matters. Should probably just do something like this. Why am I? Oh, that's why. I was getting irritated when my brush wasn't behaving correctly. Once again, it's just other settings were in place that I had forgotten to turn off. It's my own fault. Hmm. Guess that'll have to do. It looks a little bit better to my eyes, so I feel a bit better to committing to that. So I think I should be able to merge all of this without an issue. We're gonna find out real fast if that's the case. Yeah, so that looked fine. Nice. Once again, this is called that. Gotta give them names now since I'm going through it. And we're getting rid of the old quivers that were on the wrong side. Okay, quiver, quiver, quiver. Dud arrows, which we're going to be getting, well, we can get rid of because we're going to be making our new, better arrows soon. I think this can just merge down and we can apply our mask. I don't think I really need to keep it separate from her body, but I'm going to keep it like that for now, just in case, because it is supposed to be this magical thing. It's supposed to carry a lot of stuff. So I might want to tweak it at some later date. As we're constantly bringing this into focus. Do that. Actual label this 0, because when we make duplicates it usually starts from 1, so that'll make things easier. And we don't really need this bow anymore. So we have our shiny new, better bow. We did tweaks to it a few times. We can just go right on through this. This is our bow, it is ours. Our bowstring, which I will keep separate. There is a chance where I'll just like merge everything together because I'm doing that. But I like the idea of keeping the string separate because it's just this thin line and it will be really annoying if I have to edit it later. It's easier to keep things separated, but due to the size of this canvas, I feel like I need to find a nice median between having it like a traditional painting where everything's all on one layer and having the privilege of having groups and stuff. Like keeping the background separate, keeping the characters separate. It's a given. Bow arrow. Bow. Just call it bow. Bow stuff. Oh, I see, for the hand. I'm gonna get rid of this bow stuff. Oh my god, my voice is dying. The bow folder, we don't really need it. And this way I can read this and understand it much quicker. I'm gonna label her green. And we will get rid of the color. Oops. No. Not that mistake again. Never again. No color. This is our carpet. No. It's our actual base that we don't need. Behind her and the carpet in front of her. Alright, so we went through a few of these. There were things I didn't like. Let's give it one more go here. Well, we know this one is out of the running. Okay, so that's definitely... I know why I did it so extreme like that. It's supposed to look edgier and provide more of a push for her back leg, to like something to rest up against, because she needs to create force for her bow. But I still don't like this. It's just too much clutter right here. That's just bad. This one's a little bit better. Like even with that pushback, it's still just not good composition for me. This one's better. You can clearly, like at a glance, you see, okay, this is the carpet. This is her on the carpet. So I think I am gonna backpedal on this, and that's why I like having these layer backups, because sometimes even the best intentions are not the greatest choices in the end. So I think this one's still too close. It's really probably down to this or this. I'm going back to it because I'm thinking about if I could free transform and move it around, because it does have like that foreshortening feel to it. But even if I did, I think it would end up looking like this this one here, really. I think this is what we're going to end up with. But I will fiddle with this one just a little bit. Just give myself the benefit of the doubt here. Alright, I think that's what we're gonna do. So that breaks up her silhouette. You can see her using the bow on the carpet. It's just way better than that. Okay. Obviously this will still need to be cleaned up a little bit. It's a little bit rough right here. Right here is a little too much for me. So I definitely need to go and tweak the carpet a lot, but okay. Hmm. To erase some of this here so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah. Not looking at where I'm clicking again. I am not actually sure which one's better. I think this one is more dynamic. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I think the bigger problem is still this is throwing me off. Because I want to say this one, it has a slant, so it's a bit more interesting. And it kind of... See, this one feels more stable, which is good for, like, her ground. I don't know how her standing on something like this, putting pressure, drawing her bow, like, how best that this would be for that. This one definitely, like, it curves. It works with your eye. So I probably should just go with that choice, because that's just... I don't know. So, dynamic or stability? It's getting me, man. It's getting me. We're gonna go with stability. Obviously this is like throwing me off, so I'm gonna leave them both here, because we'll work on that and I'll try to make sure that I'm sold. But I know that I can't commit to this just yet, so yeah. So that's Serena there. Our wolf is still just placeholder wolf. Lazar has, yeah, screen layer. I can't really merge that down because it's gonna get wonky over there. This is a normal layer. Oh, yeah, okay. So this can be merged down. So that's fine. Our fog. This is just a way for me to separate things, no big deal. Ox, oh my goodness, okay. We have her base. We have a lot of stuff on her body. Nice, okay, cool. Her little butt cheeks right there. Yeah, I can pretty much merge everything in Ox. So it's really easy. I wish I could help you out, or at least give you an opinion, but I'm looking at the screen totally lost. That is fine. Considering I was lost too, it's fine. We could be lost together. Sometimes just about feeling, and I'm horribly indecisive. Because both are not exactly wrong per se. Unless you're trying to really make it as politically correct, technically correct for how it would work in reality for her to be on a flying carpet, so it's a little bit out there. Oh, I have like white lines there. That don't look normal. We're gonna have to fix that. Gonna have to remember there's a bit of an error there. Yeah. Okay. We'll be coming back to Rana in a moment. Silver. What do you got for me? Oh, texture. Yeah. I'm going to be doing textured, probably texture layers. I'll come in later. Layer. I can't speak. Because I said texture there, and I remember mumbling about like texturing things to look more like what they're supposed to. And I've done it a little bit, like the fur kind of looking like fur. Little squiggles and interest of the leather, trying to make it look like leather. I'm not very good at that. Metal being metal. But when I'm laying in color, I'm also probably going to be laying in actual texture layers that you've seen with the stained glass. So it'd be sort of similar to that. Quiver. Yeah, it's not, it didn't turn out all that elven, but it's fine. Under armor, gem texture. Yeah, we can get rid of that layer. We can get rid of that. The bloom will have to be separate. The eye is a normal layer though, so that is multiply, that is normal, and that is her. So let's multiply here. I want her face. Okay. Let me try to merge it all down. Looks fine. Are you saying the carpet I just paid a large sum for won't fly? Wouldn't fly? I mean, technically they require a password, an activation word, so if you don't have that, Sarlark, you might want to get a refund. Otherwise, it's just as good as a regular carpet. So it might be a flying one, you'll never know. Okay, We don't need this extra group. Just gonna get rid of that. For chain, we have ox, yeah, okay. So this is looking much more concise, which I like. I don't think I need this anymore, to be honest. But I'll let it stick around for now. Really, should I? Ah, see, it's slightly off here. It's aiming slightly downward. Kinda has to, actually. Contrast layer and our color rough, which I was just playing around with stuff, so. What? Oh, right. Okay, it's just masked. Yeah, these aren't too much of an issue, so I can leave that. And we have the gradient map. Okay, yeah. Should this be on top? Probably should be on top. My logo. Okay, cool. So this is cleaned up. And will hopefully run a lot smoother. I say this even though I was doing some painting and Photoshop decided to just like wig out and have a huge blob of paint. It's comforting. Let's neaten this line up here. Was I gonna use? Yeah, I was gonna use this as a reference for our bow. Also, I mean, I guess she could have she had different arrows, so I might want to have different arrow ends. I could maybe get this one. I don't know. I think it's all merged together except the string. Yeah. Well, I could still probably just copy it over. That sounds like fun. Before we get rid of it. Our base. Turn off the bow for a second. Get my pen back. Password you say? In here I thought I was just too heavy. Well, they do have weight limits. They do have speed limits. Raina's lucky she just has boots now, so she gets to fly all by herself. But she can't take anyone with her. It's funny because my character Silver kind of enjoyed the carpet. She was like the slowest out of the group for the longest time. And she moves 30, so it's not that bad, but everyone else was like super speedy McGee, so she was just plodding along, and then when she was on the carpet, it was like, I get to go just as fast as you. Okay, so this is a very hard eraser, but I think that's exactly what we want in this situation. I think I just potentially merged down the wrong thing. That could be why there's this weird ass line. But as long as it didn't immediately disturb my eye, it's probably fine. I might have created extra work for myself beyond just this. Just means I gotta be better. Isn't exactly optimized. Unfortunately for me. Alright, yeah, yep. I think I might get rid of some of the tatters. More and more I look at it, now that it's kind of fully put together, the more it's bothering me. But there's also the problem of it can't be too long because she was on the carpet all the time, so it's can't. God, bothersome doing clothing or any fabrics. It's just too much. Going to grab that. And we're going to do a mask, so that way I can freely clean this layer up without having to undo a million times. Just go back and forth between having it show and having it not until I am satisfied. Turn off opacity to make the brush a little bit harder. Oops. Okay. I think I want to copy this. And free transform, flip it. I like the look of it being winged like this, so kind of want the other side to mirror that a little bit more. I think that looks pretty good. this to look a bit more like it's in front of the arrow. Bit too white. It's annoying right here because the values are so similar. Let's just try to get it to be obvious what's in front. Okay. We are going to try to make our arrow a little bit darker. Yeah, the values are just super close right there, but again, as always, probably fine. I like having a little bit of a mix there. This quiver's supposed to... It's interesting, like, trying to translate some of these items sometimes. Because it's supposed to be like a thing that, you know, your character can hold with you. And obviously the bow on the side of the hip, or the quiver on the side of the hip is more efficient, but it's supposed to hold like hundreds and hundreds of arrows. You can't see all of those arrows, right? Like that would be impossible. It's kind of like it has to be a Mary Poppins bag or something. So I don't know. In my head, I'm envisioning it as, okay, the types of things in this quiver can stick out, or they like, because it's magical, right? So if you have this type of arrow, it sticks out, and it's kind of like a vending machine where you grab one of them and then the next one in line pops up. So she'd have like a few sticking out of like the different types that she can quickly grab, because you can do that. It's like, it's a free action. You just grab whichever thing in the quiver. It's not like a bag of holding where like you have to rummage around. So I'm thinking of it more of like a vending machine style, where they'll just keep popping up until that type of arrow or that type of item is finished, and then it just won't show up again. And I'm also in this headcanon of how this thing works visually. I'm also thinking that she can have certain things be visible and certain things not, like sticking out like the arrows are. So, because she had like a cane in there for a really long time. She had like, I think, javelins in there at one point and stuff. So if she's not actively using them or wanting to reach for them, I feel like she could just have them stay deeper in the quiver rather than everything sticking out. So that is my headcanon for this quiver, and that's why, like, I think I'm not gonna have to worry about trying to put like 40 arrows in this thing, because I mean, like, 40 arrows is a lot. But I guess like a normal quiver could hold something like that. But this thing can hold like, I think like 100 or something stupid. So it would look very, very strange. I thought it would just spawn arrows indefinitely. No, this quiver is like the bag of holding. I don't know if you are aware of that, but that's like a very well-known item. It just holds stuff. It's like its own little pocket dimension. You have to put stuff in there, So it's just like a normal quiver, except that it can hold more, like a Mary Poppins bag. You need to buy them, but it holds a lot. Yeah, so it's just a matter of how that translates visually in the opening of all of your arrows compared to what it can actually hold. I mean, it would be awkward even just balance-wise to have a bunch of arrows coming out of it, like stuffed off of the one end of them being visible and physical in the real world, not the pocket dimension. Ain't nobody got time to count imaginary arrows. I mean, that's part of being a D&D ranger or a fighter. Alcos, please. You count your arrows. You're lucky that video games count them for you, but in D&D, heck no. Overpowered marksman. Oh yeah, my god, the ranger, it's sick. You are a killer. Like if you level up correctly, where you're like you're putting your effort into building up your marksman stats essentially in D&D, you can just like rip through things. It's crazy. I played a ranger and I went like and picked different things when I leveled up that just essentially added to my damage and added to my ability to hit. So it was just a killer. Ranger's overkiller it can be. Yeah, it really, really can. And like my mom's character Reyna here, she has the sharpshooter ability, so she can take off some of her attack roll, so it's less likely to hit, but if it does a shit ton of damage. But her likeliness to hit, she has either a +7 on a normal. No, she has a +15, I think, nowadays. Or +7 on the sharpshooter. +7 is really not that bad. If you roll decently, you're gonna hit, and you get, like, insane damage to that. It's just... At least last time I saw her sheet, her numbers could be even better now, so... I just asked the GM to count for me. And then pay them in tech chips. I mean, if there's an agreement there. It really depends on, like, the GM or DM. My parents constantly have to have stuff explained to them over and over again. But it is okay, because it's just a game for fun. Okay, so grabbed that arrow. We're gonna fancy up the bow. Yeah, that won't get confusing later. It's our carpet we're still questioning. Here's our bow. Gonna back it up. It's labeled the same. Oh, I just can't win. Usually says copy, but it's not now. I never pay attention enough, so obviously custom names don't have that same naming convention. Right. Oh my god. My shoulder has been popping a lot, so I'm sorry if that happens on stream like it just did, it just happens. Just gotta deal with it. Oh, do I want to do that? I'm not sure what values I'm going to be using for what right now. So right now I'm just cutting my middle line out and really pronounced value here so I can just see what I'm doing. It doesn't look bad though. What the heck? Just gonna close some of these up. Really? Oh, okay. There's this. Save and drink some tea. Don't you do yoga? Not enough of it, obviously. I just I get really stiff. It does. Well, practice. You need to really, if you want to get flexible, it's something where you have to keep stretching your limits out more and more each day. And I struggle with keeping a proper schedule, keep on keeping on, just keep doing it, and doing it for long periods of time, full sessions. So I don't do nearly as much as I should be right now with the issues that I have because I'm just naturally very tense. Doesn't help me at all. That's why I've kind of been doing more yoga, because I kind of need that with the way that I just have this tenseness in my body. So that's me. Yeah, I really need to figure out how to just relax. I get so many these earaches and back aches and stuff because my muscles are just too tense. I'm so stiff that I can't even touch the top of my feet when I bend over. Oh. Well, you also need to warm up a little bit too. When you're trying to stretch something like that, where I'm stretching to my feet, if I just stretch out of the blue, I'll just barely be able to touch them, right? But then if I give it a few minutes where I'm just really stretching my ligaments out and warming that. Warming your ligaments up. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's essentially what you're doing. You can stretch a lot further. This is gonna be completely different. I'm just gonna get rid of this old arena. I don't really need her anymore. Oh my god. Oh, shoulder stop. What I thought. Will levels be any better? Get back here. Going to add a bit of darkness up here. Oh, I see. Like, why is there a hole here? Oh, it's a hand mask. Okay. It's like, again, why? There we go. That looks nice. Alright. Let's fiddle with this dang cape. Gonna regret it, but I'm gonna do it. What is your address, Muse? I'm gonna play a prank on you. I'm not gonna give it out if you're gonna prank me. I'm gonna send an already paid monsieur. Oh, miss. Yeah, right. Home visits. That'd be the dream. No, I should be going to the chiropractor a lot, and like, there's like, this is something that is fixable, I think, really. It's just something that I can't afford to fix, so sad reality. Alright, so if I wanted to change up the look of this. I'm going to grab white so I can just quickly sketch out how I want this to go down. Not like that. Not like this. Problem is, that's real dumb. That's the problem. I'm gonna flip the canvas here. Ooh, it did not take that long. It's optimization right there. Maybe something like this. The line would come down there, kind of confuse this area here, which I don't like. Yeah, it's so stupid when it's all broken up, but as a full thing, having it way out like that looks kind of silly. Just come down even more. Like a line up with this, which is really gross. I don't like capes, guys. I don't. Her leg would be there. She could argue. Has to kind of drape around that. Yeah, I don't like capes, and I don't like drawing trench coats. Is that a dragon? It looks kind of different from the dragons I'm used to. It looks more badass. I mean, this is a dragon. It is more badass because it's a shadow dragon, so it's kind of oozing evil. So yes, I did try to make it a little bit imposing. And kind of crazy. Because under the influence of that shadow, it seemed like it was kind of crazy. And then this is a dragonborn. So, dragonborn is like a dragon fucked a human or an elf or something, and you got a humanoid dragon creature thing. Yeah. If flowing up like that is more dynamic, so it's more visually interesting. It does look silly to me. Okay. Shoulder stop. Stay in the socket. It's fine. Horizontal flip. I've noticed like certain sides are just generally more forgiving in my brain to others. Like I'll look at it on one flip horizontally and I'll go, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And then the other side is just downright ugly. I'm getting that a little bit here. Hmm. It's like a tiger. Love to look at, don't want to be near one. Is that related to the Thatcher effect? I don't know what that is. Oh boy. Oh. I just had me an idea. Okay. I like the silhouette of that more than this. It's generally because it's broken up more, but the ragged look is also not so great for like what I'm trying to represent. However, dang it, wrong button. I could instead be a little bit out of the box. We'll see if this works out. I like it. Out there. It's different. The Thatcher effect, or Thatcher illusion, is a phenomenon where it becomes more difficult to detect a local feature changes in an upside-down face. Local feature, despite identical changes being obvious in an upright face. Probably saw some of those kinds of features. Like the pictures. I've seen pictures on the internet where you have a face, whether it's upside down or right side up. It's like two different faces, and you see them when the face gets flipped vertically. But I don't know if I've ever seen that particular thing that it sounds like you're explaining. But it kind of makes sense. Our minds are hardwired to identify faces, and like we can pick up really subtle details for that, for human faces. But when it comes to other things, we're not always as good at picking up those details. So having an upside down face, it plays around with that hardwired innate understanding of the human face, I think. So it makes it harder, or it makes it easier for you to miss details. I can understand how that would be a thing. It makes sense. Alright. Okay, so now we have this. Just flip it real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna color in these leaves. It's either going to bring this together or not to look good at all. And we're gonna find out really quickly which that is. But here's hoping that I had the right idea. This will look pretty darn cool. Dare I say magical. And I mean, like, this is a definite reimagining, even more so than before, for her cape. But, rule of cool, rule of cool. it, damn it, damn it. I'm the right size brush here. That'll do. Okay. I'll have to get rid of some of those white rim lighting stuff. Definitely distracting. I think we're on the same page, but I posted a picture on the Discord anyway. Well, I'll have to check that out later. Okay, tea is done. Back to cider. Alright, we are now gonna lay in these nice little flowers. Nope. I'm gonna have to do a gradient on this, I think. They're gonna need to be bright. Oops. Just hope that they'll think that this looks good. So we have cider today. Yeah, we're having cider today. The layer. Okay, that's what's fine. Yeah, we can get rid of this one. I think like having a flat cloak and having the flowers on the bottom of it would look okay, but there's definitely something to be said for this kind of look. I'm gonna duplicate her. I'm gonna lock my transparency. So that'll allow me to kind of get rid of a lot of this rim light that's no longer going to serve us very well. Oh my goodness, what is... Oh, that's empty space. That's not... Ooh. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Double the sound, double the music. Not so much double the fun. Sorry. My headphones came out of the jack. As I was fidgeting around in my chair. Yeah, so we're just making this a little bit easier on the eyes. And we're making those flowers pop a little bit more. Which is a nice thing. I think this looks much more wild, and I appreciate that. We're getting there. Okay. Yeah, this part is a little bit on the fence with. Let's see. Because this foot right here does change how the cloak behaves back here. And I want to make sure I get that right. Pretty good. I might regret bringing down that layer. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll keep it separate for now, just because, like this bowstring, it might just be easier to have that separate if I want to do any last minute changes to the cape here when I start laying in color, because then these edges, these rough edges are going to become way more visible. So I might be making last minute changes to that again. Edge. And now our carpets. Okay, so Reina's base here, we can pretty much cover her foot. I think it's going to be easier to have everything, like the carpet underneath, like behind her as a character, and just mask her foot off. I'll do that for me. Excellent. I always hate it when it does like the dots there. I suppose I could like move this over a little bit to see more text, but Okay. I'm gonna bring this down here. And just, this is the layer that I'm not super sure about. Gonna hide that. Hello there, cat. Marina's foot. This blob. I'd be missing anything blocking that off. Okay. I don't know if I need the pushback anymore. I mean, kind of. Slightly different, but it's kind of a bloom now at this point. For her arrow. Let's merge this down and play around with this. Oh, wait, no, I did it wrong, Merge down. Get these lines out of here. I'm gonna go back to our hard brush since we are blocking in our shapes. Turn off our bloom here. I'm impressed. I haven't heard any thunder. This is really nice. It's like I felt I had to like say something for the stream because I'm like, I might not be able to stream due to, or at least not fully stream due to Mother Nature. It looks like the storm, well, at least this one, because there was one earlier today, it looks like it missed us, or it's running late. Who's that kitty? So that looks a bit better. It's also raining here. Oh, look at that. I wonder if it's just one big, huge, giant storm. It's kind of funny hearing my parents, whenever like there's a big storm coming through, gonna hit us, they're just like, my gosh, look how big storms are these days. We're not nearly as big back when I was a kid. And like part of me wants to be kind of sassy and be like, well, when you were a kid, I doubt you were super into watching the Weather Channel. I don't like the Weather Channel wasn't even a thing. Watching the news, people talk about the weather. I don't think that was something you were super focused on. That might not be entirely true. Probably is a little bit though. I mean, with climate change, you got a lot of weird things happening. Like extreme weather. Which will be fun to look forward to when I'm older. Looks kind of okay. This doesn't look right still, though. Fix Arena's boot. Oh dear. Is that? Yeah, we're gonna clean this up a little bit real quick. These are really helpful when I start laying down shadow. Kind of puts her more onto the carpet, but you know what you're talking about? My parents think the same about violence. They're so organized and considerate. Most people would just not stream without even saying a thing the next day. I mean, I don't think so. From what I'm exposed to, the streamers that I pay attention to, they tend to like give warning about like, oh, no stream today, you know? So I feel like it's important. Plus, I also am mindful of the fact that a large portion of the people that are interested in my work are not in my time zone. So giving a heads up, I often actually feel very bad when it's getting close to stream time and I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to be canceling or not, because on the one hand it's like I want to wait to that last moment before I go, okay, no, cancel. But on the other, it's like there are people staying up late, you know, to watch potentially, and I feel like it's kind of a dick move to be like, oh, no stream, you kind of stayed up for nothing. So it puts me in a bit of an awkward position whenever I think about it. And I'm just like, oh, I should give early warning, but I also don't want to come off as like not interested in streaming because I'm giving such an early warning of like, oh, it may not happen. It's a weird place to be. But I feel like having a transparent communication is better than not. They don't take in consideration that we today have much more ways of communicating those kinds of news than we were as a kid. Yeah, it's true. I think that we're exposed to a lot more, and also the way you thought of the world as you were as a child compared to as an adult is drastically different. The things that you paid attention to and what you think happened versus what actually happened, it's very different. Even as an adult, going from like century to century, like your perspective is colored a lot, you know. And yeah, I have no real doubt that if I Googled it, if I looked it up, that yes, storms have gotten bigger or stronger. Like, that seems plausible, but and yeah, there's people talking about violence and stuff here being more extreme, and I have mixed feelings about that too. I feel like in certain ways it does feel like that. In certain sectors, I believe so. Like shootings, but not necessarily violence in general. It's weird, the different kinds of news, because like even for them, they had TV, they had constant news channels running, but it is completely different nowadays with not only internet articles being run like every 2 seconds, but also social media. And certain minority groups in different areas, just in general, having a stronger opinion, voicing it out there, being very divisive, it can seem like that's a big thing that's happening. That's something that's very potent or very prevalent, and that's not necessarily the case either, because that's just the vocal minority. So life is complicated. That's my moral. That's what I'm getting to. When in doubt, research all sides and from a variety of sources. Alright. Yeah, this is still bothering me. My goodness. It's almost 8 o'clock. Oh, well, we made a fair amount of progress. I didn't get too sidetracked, so that's really good. So I can get really sidetracked on this stream, and then it's just becomes a little bit much. It's like, oh, I got this one little thing done. To be fair, I'd always like more for this project to be done compared to what I get done in the 2 hours. Just in general with my art, I'm like, oh god, so dang slow. And this thing, it's grotesquely slow. But I can never seem to find real time outside of the stream to work on this, because in my head I'm always like, oh no, but I'll work on it in the stream. It's almost like a crutch, because it's just like I'll always have that time, so it makes it hard to find the time off stream, even though I keep telling myself over and over again, it's like, find time to do art all the time, everywhere. But I think a huge problem for me is the fact that, like, the whole stiffness thing, bringing it back, I can't sit at the computer doing these intensive tasks like I used to, which is really, really, really bad, because this is kind of my thing. I think I'm gonna have to throw shadow into the mix here. In order to get a better beat on how the carpet needs to be. just gonna make a nice little messy shadow here. Kind of ground her. Yes, that one I'm aware. Which isn't like the most helpful thing in the world here, but it's a bit helpful. Yeah, I still need to like lift this up. But I suppose we'll fiddle with that next time. Get that shape locked in, and then I can throw the texture on top, because that will just give me my designs really quickly rather than freehanding that. I think I was talking earlier, like when I get to the coloring stage, it's when I'm going to probably start introducing textures and like slowly bring it together. But that would be something I would bring in early as just design, and then I'll probably paint over a little bit and do some details, but overall that would speed things up a ton. Yeah, that's what we have. This is what we got. She is looking better and better. I think we'll get a nice zoom in on her to leave the stream with. I like how I'm making the thumbnails for the YouTube VODs when I upload them, and it's just been basically her over and over and over again, but with little incremental changes, and I'm just going, oh my goodness. I feel self-conscious because it's the same thing with little tiny changes in their 2-hour streams. But there you go. Life is complicated. Yeah, that could be my quote for the heckin' year. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Spread the word if you did, because it helps the channel grow. And you could check out the Discord if you have not yet done so. And check out the events tab on this Twitch channel to know we will be streaming next. Ricorel's Adventures is scheduled for tomorrow, but like the chaos of the universe, it's not necessarily set in stone. If I'm just having a day, I might go, nope, playing this instead. But it will probably be Ricorel. I want to work through the Dark Brotherhood stuff and get that out of the way, so then I can start experiencing Morrowind. Because Leroy Jenkins, when I first started her up, I was like, oh, I'm getting into this story, so I think it'll be pretty satisfying to go through that with Rika. And I think that is pretty much it. So if you have comments or feedback about the stream, you can share them by using the feedback links on the Twitch info panel or the Read Me text channel on the Discord. And as always, from my heart to yours, good luck.